Us to talk about Shyam Prasad Mukherjee today. And Antarish ji is a yoga teacher for the last 11 years and currently working in Deutsche Börse as a software engineer. And he's living in Germany for since 2011. And his passion is towards travel. And one of the interesting facts that I found is that he traveled all the way from north to south and east to west of India, pretty much covered all of India. Thank you, Bharadwaj, Antarish Bharadwaj, for joining today. It's a pleasure to have you today. Over to you.
Thank you very much for inviting me and to present my thoughts on Shyama Prasad Mukherjee. So without wasting much time, I'll actually continue to the topic. So today we were hearing this wonderful Subhashitam, which said that the great people are like rivers. They do everything for others. Today also we will be hearing about a great leader. His name was Shyama Prasad Mukherjee. So Shyama Prasad Mukherjee was a great leader and he was born on 6th of July 1901. So today we remember that today is 6th June 1901. So today is 6th of June. So exactly 1 month hence, we have the birthday of this great leader. So on that day, we will also be asking questions about this great personality, which we will be learning now. A very wonderful shloka and saying by him is, "Ek desh mein do vidhan, do pradhan aur do nishan nahi chalenge." We will talk about this in the coming slides. Shyama Prasad Mukherjee, as we saw, was born on 6th of July 1901 in Kolkata. His father was Ashutosh Prasad Mukherjee. His mother's name was Jogmaya Devi Mukherjee. He came from a family of Bengali Brahmins. His father was a judge of the High Court of Kolkata. At that time, Kolkata was known as Calcutta. This name has recently been changed. His father was also the Vice Chancellor of the Calcutta University. His early life, he was a meritorious student. In the whole of Bengal, he stood 17th in the Inter-Arts examination in 1916. He graduated in English and completed his Master of Arts in Bengali with first class. At 21, he got married to Sudha Devi ji. And at that time, the education of law was very important. It was the most prominent education in 1900th century. He completed Bachelor of Law in 1924. In 1926, he left for England to study at Lincoln's Inn. In London, in England, he started working as an English barrister. In 1934, he became the youngest Vice Chancellor of Calcutta University. So Vice Chancellor is like the leader of the entire university. It's a very big position. And he was such a meritorious person that even at a young age of 33, he was made the Vice Chancellor of the university. That says a lot about his great skills and acumen. He also had great love for vernacular languages. It was during his tenure that Rabindranath Tagore visited his university. And the Bengali language was made as a subject in Kolkata University. That was a great thing at that time. Let us now go to his political career and service. In 1929, he entered the Bengal Legislative Council as an Indian national candidate. So before 1947, India was not independent. We were not able to make laws for ourselves. We were still a bound nation. And at that time, the self-governance had just started. So he entered the Bengal Legislative Council. This is a place where they make laws for a small portion. In 1941, he was made the finance minister of the whole of the Bengal. At that time, Bengal was very big. The Bangladesh was also part of Bengal. The current West Bengal was also Bengal. Assam, northeastern state, and also some portion of Bihar was also included in Bengal. Bengal was a great and big province of India at that time. It was a great honor to be a minister. However, such a sacrificing spirit he had for the Quit India movement. He wanted Indians to rule India and not Britishers. So he quit his position and he resigned. It was a great sacrifice. In 1942, Bengal faced with severe floods. Even though he was not a minister, he organized relief work along with the Ramakrishna Mission and Mahabodhi Society. That says about his humanitarian spirit, about how he cared for people. That is a mark of a Mahatman, a great person. Later on, he also became the president of the Hindu Mahasabha and Akhil Bharatiya Hindu Mahasabha. Now, India got independence in 1947. Afterwards, we were given a task to create our own constitution. We were independent. We had to make laws for ourselves, the Indian constitution. Shyama Prasad Mukherjee was the member of the committee that wrote the Constitution of India. In the Constituent Assembly, he stressed on the importance of respecting regional languages and mother tongues. Shyama Prasad Mukherjee wanted that mother tongue and the vernacular language like Telugu, Tamil, we should all learn that. The education should be given in the mother tongue. That was his opinion. And it was well received. And the great service that he did to India at that moment, India was about to be partitioned. East Bangladesh had to become Pakistan and West Bengal had to remain with India. But at that time, people were planning that the whole of Bengal, the East Bengal, northeastern state will become a separate country. But he said, no, the Hindu majority regions should merge with India. And that is why, due to his efforts, we got Bengal and Assam as part of our country. Later on, in the first cabinet of India, such an important leader, he was made the Minister of Industry and Supply in the first cabinet of independent India in 1947. You might have heard about Khadi Vikas, Khadi, handlooms. They were his work. He planned the All India Handloom Board and the Handicraft Board and the Khadi Vikas. You might have heard about Chittaranjan locomotive. It is a very famous entity in India that makes railways, that makes railway tracks and also railway coaches. That Chittaranjan locomotive was also started by this great leader. He had vision for India, that India should be an industrial superpower. Also, this visionary leader planned for Bhilai steel plant. You know, steel is so much important for the construction industry. And Bhilai steel plant is one of the major steel plants of India. This was also planned by him. Also, since India was an agriculture superpower, had to become an agriculture superpower, we started our own fertilizer factory, that was Sindri Fertilizer. This was also started by Shyama Prasad Mukherjee. Going forward, however, very soon, just after a tenure of 1 or 2 years, while being a member of the cabinet, he resigned. He protested that the Hindu rights were being neglected in the Pakistan and some other areas, and to protest for it, he resigned from the cabinet. He wanted the Prime Minister to take some action, but he was not listened to. Therefore, he said, I will do it differently. He founded the Jan Sangha on 21st October 1951. And it was this Jan Sangha which became Bharatiya Janata Party in 1980s. You might have heard about Narendra Modi, the Prime Minister of India. Narendra Modi comes from Bharatiya Janata Party, and it was Jan Sangh which later became Bharatiya Janata Party. Today, Bharatiya Janata Party is the largest political party in the whole of the world. So a small vision by this great leader today has borne fruit. Today, the Prime Minister of India is from his party. This is a great achievement. Now let us talk about Kashmir. You might have heard about the phrases that Kashmir is the crown of India. The reference to Kashmir is incomplete without taking the name of Shyama Prasad Mukherjee. Shyama Prasad Mukherjee was strongly against Article 370 and saw it as a threat to national unity. So before, Kashmir was not considered by some as part of India. In order to visit Kashmir, you need to take special permission. You had to take a special permit. Shyama Prasad Mukherjee did not like that. He said, Kashmir should be a part of India. It should be like any other state. There should not be any special separate provision. That was Article 370. He protested against the permit system and visited Kashmir. He was arrested. And unfortunately, he sacrificed his life for Kashmir and expired as a detainee on 23rd June 1953. This great leader sacrificed his life and died in custody of the Jammu Kashmir government at that time. Now we will read his words. एक देश में दो विधान, दो प्रधान और दो निशान नहीं चलेंगे. So when Shyama Prasad Mukherjee was struggling, at that moment in Kashmir, we had a prime minister. So India also had a prime minister. Kashmir also had a prime minister. India had a constitution. Kashmir had a constitution. India had a flag. Kashmir had a flag. Shyama Prasad said, this is not allowed. This should not happen. In one country, we should only have one constitution, only one prime minister, and only one flag. Later on, Shyama Prasad Mukherjee could not see this during his life. However, the grand vision of this visionary leader was finally realized in October 2019, when the Indian Parliament revoked the Article 370. So a great achievement by this great leader. That what he planned in 1950s, that was ultimately done by his protege, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, on October 2019, a very great, memorable day for our country. So today I will read a quote by Patanjali. When you are inspired by some great purpose, some extraordinary project, all your thoughts break their bonds. Your mind transcends limitations. Your conscious expands in every direction. And you find yourself in a great, new, and wonderful world. Patanjali says, no dream is small. If you are inspired by selfless motives, you can achieve anything in this world. And we see that this great leader, Shyama Prasad Mukherjee, was finally able to achieve Kashmir being part of India. What is unique with Shyamaji? Now let's discuss about his life. He was not a politician, but a nationalist. He was an educationalist. He was a culturalist. He was the vice chancellor of the university, and he stood for education and culture. He promoted vernacular language and mother tongue. He aimed and worked towards national unity, self-rule by Indians, safeguarding rights of Hindus in India, and also relief for the affected. During the floods, his services were wonderful. Today, India is also suffering from COVID. We should also be like Shyama Prasad Mukherjee and try to alleviate the suffering of people. What we can do? We can have dream for nation. Rest assured that they will be realized by hard work. No dream is small. You will be able to realize if you work hard and your vision is selfless. Strive for national unity like Shyama Prasad Mukherjee did. by making Kashmir a part of India. Look around on injustice in the society and seek to correct it. Have a humanitarian spirit. Work for people. That is what this great leader and his life teaches us. I thank you very much for inviting me to this this wonderful program. And the life of this great leader has an inspiration for the kids, and I'm really very happy to be part of it. If there are any questions about this great leader, I would be very happy to answer them.
Dhanyawad, Antariksh. It was really nice getting to know such a great leader, especially from you. I think, as you said, I mean, his motive was selfless. I mean, it is all for the nation, for the good of people in India. So thanks so much for sharing all the details. So kids, I mean, if you have any questions, anyone want to ask anything, please feel free.
Yajat's hand raised. Okay, Yajat has questions, and then I'll follow up. See, I am going through the videos. Yeah.
What is Article 370?
Yes. So Article 370 was an erstwhile law which said that in order to go to the people who live in India cannot buy the land of Kashmir, but the people in Kashmir can buy the land in India. That was one of the provisions of Article 370. It also said that Kashmir would have a separate constitution of India, separate constitution. So it was not completely integrated in India like any other state. For instance, we have Uttar Pradesh, we have Karnataka, we have Kerala. They are all states which are governed by the Indian constitution. However, Jammu and Kashmir was actually governed by the constitution of Jammu and Kashmir. So the Article 370 removed that. So Article 370 gave a special status to Jammu and Kashmir, and that was revoked later.
So basically, in simple terms, it means that they had their own rules and regulations within Kashmir, unlike all other states in India. Okay, so if you take off Article 370, it's all single rule. Okay, single legislation.
Okay.
Thanks, Antariksh.
And so Yajat, as I don't see any other hand, I'll give chance to Yajat one more time. Yeah. Okay.
Who's Patanjali?
Yeah.
Patanjali. Who is Patanjali?
Yeah. So Patanjali is a great philosopher of India. He lived, I would say, around 5,000 years ago. I do not know the exact date. However, he is very famous because he has written a book for the yogis, the Patanjali Yoga Sutra. You might have heard about Baba Ramdev these days. He has also started a Patanjali organization just to commemorate his name. So if you read yoga, if you do yoga, you will also be able to read about Patanjali Yoga Sutra. So it is a very nice book, I can say, which can guide you more about yoga, which can point you to the intricacies of yoga. And what is yoga? Yoga is the union of soul with God. Yeah. So that is Patanjali Yoga Sutra. He was also a very inspiring man, and his shloka is the quote that I quoted today is really very inspiring.
Patanjali wrote that. What do you read? Yeah. Thank you, Dhanyawad.
Vedanshi has a.
Yeah, Vedanshi.
I have a question. Why was Kashmir so different from other states that he had another rule and all?
Yeah. So there are historical reasons for this. And the reason is that once upon a time when India became independent, so Kashmir was being ruled by a Maharaja. His name was Maharaja Hari Singh. Maharaja Hari Singh wanted that Kashmir should become a separate country, should be like Pakistan, India, and also Kashmir. That is what he wanted. However, later on, what happened that Pakistan attacked Kashmir, and then Maharaja Hari Singh quickly signed the accession treaty with India, saying that I would like to merge with India, because he did not want it to be attacked by Pakistan. And then he, when he signed a treaty of accession with India, he became part of India. However, during that time, due to some reasons, I mean, there was a war going on between India and Pakistan. So the United Nations came in between, because it was the entity which used to stop wars amongst nations. So United Nations said that let there be ceasefire, and due to which some portion of Kashmir was actually went under the control of the Pakistan government. So for the rest of the Kashmir, we came up with Article 370, because we wanted to, later on correct the mistakes and take back the other portion from Pakistan and make the whole Kashmir. That is why Article 370 was made. Yeah, so it is a very nice and very historical topic. I am sure you will read about this more in the history books. I just gave a brief, information about it.
That's good information. Dhanyawad, Antarikshji. Any last questions before we move on?
You can always ask the questions towards the end of the shakha also. Okay?
Absolutely.
Free to
Absolutely.
have more discussions on it. If you have questions, if you didn't understand, or if you didn't understand some words, Antarikshji, for you, just for your information, some of our children are more familiar with German than English. So yeah, for example, Yajat was asking me those words which I was just translating. So if anybody else had questions similar to that, you can always feel free to ask after the shakha. Okay, so stay here and you will always get the answers. Okay. So,
excellent. Yeah.
big thanks to Antarikshji one more time. Dhanyawad.
Dhanyawad, Antarikshji. Okay, we move on to Sharirik then.
Vengatji. So like last week, yeah, you all don't have to do anything. Some of you will automatically go to another room, and the rest of the people will be in another room. So, but don't go anywhere.